to Bake with Mom. Today we're making chocolate chip cookies. This is Uncle Dan.
I'm Uncle Dan.
Why is Uncle Dan helping us bake chocolate chip cookies?
I don't know.
Because Uncle Dan makes the best chocolate chip cookies.
The first step to baking chocolate chip cookies with Uncle Dan. No nonsense. The first step to chocolate chip cookies is sugar. So we're gonna do 3/4 of a cup. Now the second thing that we add is 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Bradley, you wanna add this one?
Yeah.
You're gonna scoop it in. Now, oh. All right, we're gonna try this again. I'm gonna scoop it, and with brown sugar, you wanna pack it all in like a snowball. Now, Declan, what is the #1 rule about measurements?
I don't know.
They don't have to be exact, they just have to look right. Is that the #1 rule, Declan?
No.
As far as the #1 cookies, you have to make sure that you use light brown sugar and not dark brown sugar. I don't know why, but it makes a big difference.
Both light and dark brown sugar contain molasses. However, dark brown sugar can contain twice as much. Therefore, dark brown sugar will have a richer taste, but it also has a higher sugar content as well as moisture content. This could result in a denser, flatter cookie with a more chewy consistency.
After we've added both sugars, we want to continue by adding the rest of the dry ingredients. We do 1 teaspoon of salt. Again, does not have to be exact, just has to feel right in your heart. Pour it in.
You said that so many times.
Declan, do you want to do the baking soda? Open it up carefully.
I said that not carefully.
Nope, that would be nonsense, Bradley. Dump it in, Dec. Nope, no, just 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, so that's good to go. Now that we've created a bed of dry ingredients, we want to add in the wetter ingredients. This is the secret of the #1 cookies. Instead of butter, we use shortening.
It's so soft.
You want to use 1 cup of shortening because that's what works best.
Oh my, do a lot of it.
I agree with this. Cookies made with butter tend to spread more on the pan while baking. They don't rise as much or hold their shape as well, and often tend to have crispy edges. Whereas, a cookie made with shortening will bake higher and hold its shape. Butter does have a wonderfully rich flavor, so if you feel like you're gonna miss that when you substitute shortening for butter, you could always cheat a little bit and add some butter extract.
What do you think? Think it's good? Again, does not have to be exact. You guys know how to crack eggs?
I do.
All right, crack one.
I do too.
Do you actually know how? Oh my god! Declan, next time when I ask if you can crack eggs, you should tell me that you're practicing. It's big information. Alright, as Declan is washing his hands, Bradley is going to crack this egg. Oh, you cracked it. Okay. Now, some of you may be wondering how I got so good at cracking eggs. It's years and years of McDonald's experience. I don't work there anymore. Now that we've added all of our dry and all of our wet ingredients, we have to add vanilla. Forgot about vanilla. How many teaspoons of vanilla do you think we have to add?
2.
2. Very good guesses. So Declan can add 1 and Bradley can add the other. I'll pour it, you hold it. This is my own modification to the Nestle Toll House recipe.
Nestle Toll House. Nice punch.
Now that we've added all the ingredients, it should look something like this. It doesn't look like much now, but soon it will.
Declan and Daniel cream all the ingredients together until their cookie dough is light and airy.
Declan, would you like to show them what it's supposed to look like after we mix it all up? Now that we've reached a light, fluffy consistency, we need to make it not light and fluffy by adding flour. Now this is the most important part, because if you don't add enough flour, it won't work, but if you add too much flour, it also won't work.
It's a gut feeling.
It's a gut feeling. Now, we're gonna add 2 1/4 cups of flour. So this is 1 cup. This is a technique that I've mastered called the butter knife technique.
You have not been watching the Bake with Mom videos on how to measure flour, though.
That's because I have my own way. Declan, how do you measure flour?
I want to show you.
Okay. Don't make a mess.
Make a mess.
Really? Actually, you did pretty good. We're gonna pour this second cup in. Next, we'll do a quarter cup. So I like to stab the flour so it knows I'm there. It gets rid of the air bubbles, and then you flatten it out. That's why I thought you were supposed to stab it. Declan, you can
So
dump
that's
that
not a joke. That's what you really do.
Yeah, stab it, because you can get air bubbles in the flour.
Yeah. So that's why you're supposed to fluff, scoop, level, dump.
Scoop, stab, level, dump.
Got it. Believe it or not, I actually learned something here. Daniel and I both use a modified version of the Nestle Toll House recipe.
What was her name?
Nestle Tollhause.
Nestle Toll House?
And yet somehow his cookies still always come out better than mine. Although his method of scooping flour isn't as technical, it is consistent in one way. Because Daniel isn't fluffing his flour before scooping, he's ending up with a more dense, compact cup of flour. I would guess that Daniel is adding closer to 2.5 cups of flour to his recipe if he were to scoop it the more technical way. If one wanted to be more accurate when scooping flour, or any dry ingredient for that matter, the most accurate way of measuring is by weighing.
So now, this is the hard part, Declan.
Mix.
We mix it by hand. So Declan, you can start mixing that. Now as you start mixing, you'll see that it looks like the flour won't mix in, but it will eventually mix in. All right, Declan, I'm gonna take a little turn. So this, you really gotta just use some torque. In the community, we call this combining, not mixing. We're just we're gonna combine the flour with the dough.
Oh, it's mixing.
It's combining. So you don't have to mix it all the way just yet, because we're gonna add chocolate chips in there and have to stir that in as well. So we get it pretty mixed. You don't wanna over mix it. And at this point, we're gonna add the chocolate chips.
Okay, add some please.
I usually do 1 bag of Nestle Toll House, but not the full bag. I do about 3/4 of a bag of Nestle Toll House semi-sweet chocolate chips. Here you go, Declan. You wanna dump it in? That's good for now. Always dump a little bit in. Contrary to popular belief, you can have too many chocolate chips in a cookie. You want a nice ratio of dough to chocolate chips. I would say you want about 2 chocolate chips per bite of cookie. However you think that you can achieve that. Yes.
Thank you.
It's so frustrating watching this process and knowing that your cookies come out better than mine. It's all about the heart, not the technique.
Yes.
That's what I've come to know.
Now, if you look at that looks about 1.5 chocolate chip per bite ratio. We're gonna wanna add a little bit more chocolate chips to reach that 2 chocolate chip per bite.
Yeah, I don't really know how to translate this into anything more technical.
This is what you're looking for at the end of your dough.
You'll see Daniel's cookie dough doesn't come out a sticky, hard to handle mess, but nor is it dry or dense.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna wash our hands, and then we're gonna use our hands to make the dough balls. So I'm gonna wash mine first. This is the most important part of the process, because you can make a great dough, but if you don't cook them right, you have a bad cookie. Now, the average person would maybe make a cookie with about this much of dough and put it on, and that's not what we're going for today. Today we go for a big cookie, and there's several reasons. Because the bigger the cookie, the more fluffy it will get, and the less crunchy it will get. So we're looking for something that's nice and round and about a little bit bigger than a golf ball. I'm gonna put that on the pan. My mindset is once you think you've gone big enough, go a little bit bigger.
This?
Yeah, Declan.
Just put it low.
There you go.
Good job, Brad.
Never make your cookie based on the size of your sheet. Make your sheet based on the size of your cookie. So if you want to make your cookies bigger, then just put less cookies on the sheet.
It's way bigger than a golf ball.
Now that we've gotten our cookies on the pan, we've already prepped our oven by preheating it to 375 degrees. We're gonna put these in the oven. Careful with the oven, guys. Put them in on the top rack, and I usually start with 8 minutes. Now this is the most important part. You cannot overcook the cookies. So we start low, and we always add more time if needed. You know, it's just a little bit of brown. They still look a little bit doughy, which is what you want. You want them to cook a little bit more after they come out. And then after a few minutes of them sitting there, they're gonna look something more like this over here. And that's the end product that you're looking for. A nice, fluffy, golden brown chocolate chip cookie.
They're almost slightly underbaked, but they're not so underbaked that they're collapsing when you touch them.
Exactly.
Thanks
for watching. Come back next time.
Can I taste one?
Nope, they're all for me. That's the trick.
Ta-da!